to day 27. Congratulations, you guys made it this far, man. It's already day 27. I really appreciate you guys so much for staying tuned in these videos because it's low-key really boring, but the fact that you're watching to this end shows that you are really ambitious. And man, I hope and I like that you guys like my sauce, you know, so let's keep it up. Today we're gonna review these Sunday swings. I feel like Saturdays is a really good refresher to review what happened throughout the week, and then Sunday we'll dive right into next week's Sunday swings. So what happened? This was our top pair from this week's Sunday swings. We got 80 USD. We were looking for some sort of rejection. Price never gave us the rejection, so we never took the trade, and we avoided a loss. Look at that, amazing. Whenever you put your stop loss and it goes completely outside of where your stop loss is, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I totally avoided this loss, so this is good. Next, we had EuroCAD. It was ready by Sunday, but never gave us the entry signal again, and then it went all the way up again. We were completely wrong. At this point, would I have taken a trade? Depending on your risk tolerance. For me, I did not really want to take a trade because I like price to pull back down like right here, halfway usually, before we're going to the upside. When price is all the way down here near the break of structure, then chances are it probably will want to break. So that's why I just didn't enter, because like it will probably break, more likely to break than to retest the area of interest to go to the downside. So yeah, I did not take this trade. Ignore this, the daily area of interest was not weak. This was a strong area of interest. I was more so grading this one right here. Yeah, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, never mind. Ignore me again. Yes, so I had considered to take the trade here, right? But it gave me all of the entry signal and everything, but the area of interest was weak, so I ended up never taking the trade, as you can see here. Yeah, makes sense. And we had the 4 hour was no longer bear, so yeah, that's why we never took the trade. See, the 4 hour became bullish, so we needed more patterns, so there's not much confluence for us to enter the trade. This one doesn't really look like a head and shoulders. It kind of is. It retested the neckline, so you can kind of count this, but yeah, it was just, for me, the main thing was because the daily of area interest was really weak. That's all. That is all. If you guys don't know how to find what's respect and disrespect, go watch the previous workshop. But yeah, this was not really that strong. So that's why I didn't take that. And I took that into consideration a lot because area of interest is really important. All right, this trade. We were looking for a break and retest. Ivan, why didn't you enter? Well, I looked at the weekly and it's at the previous weekly structure. So what are the chances of price pulling down here and then retesting the previous structure of the weekly? It's pretty high. So either my TP was gonna be here, which is not a positive RR, so I just never took the trade, because let me show you guys what I mean by positive RR. The previous structure of the weekly is right here, and the engulfing happens like right here, bro. You're telling me to take this trade and get a 1-to-1? Come on now, that's like, no, not even a 1-to-1. I have to put my take profit right here and put my stop loss right here. Like, come on now. That's just not profitable at all. So I just didn't take the trade. It's not worth the risk. And guess what? I avoided a loss. So yay me. Next, AirGBP. This ended up going to my favor. Again, we used the 4 hour area of interest, which is what, Ivan? It means it's not respected as much because it's not from the daily or weekly. It's not from the higher time frame. So for the 4 hour, it's most likely going to be disrespected most likely. Yes, that's the word. Anyways, yeah, this is the 4 hour area of interest that we used. And here's the thing about the 4 hour area of interest, it's not respected as much. So guess what? Even if we had entered here with the engulfing, we would have gotten wicked out by the liquidity. See, look, if I enter here with the engulfing, put my stop loss here or maybe here, fuck, I would have gotten liquidity grabbed from this freaking wick right here, this huge ass wick. So we avoided another loss. Again, counter trend trades are high risk once again, but it's really rewarding. Yes, it is. And there are days where the candlestick just wants to hit both the top and the bottom. That's just how it is. Is it rare? Excuse me. Yeah, it is rare, but it happens. Just like how this candlestick did not touch the top or the bottom. Is it rare? Yes, but it happens, you know? But let me tell you, like, majority of the times, the candlestick is not gonna hit both. It's just gonna hit one. It's just gonna hit one of the highs. One of the highs or lows. This one didn't hit both. This one hits highs and lows. So it's really when it's during indecision. But majority of the time, you see here, hits the high, doesn't hit, hits the high, doesn't hit, hits the high low, hits the low, hits the high. You guys get the point. Next we have GBNZD. Again, this one went straight to where we anticipated. But Ivan, why didn't you take that trade? Well, because it was very straight. This was a good area of interest, right? But I didn't trade because price already moved all the way down here. Again, we have to think about risk to reward. By the time the engulfing happened here, where are we gonna put the stop loss? Right here or right here? Like, even if we put our stop loss above the highest 4 hour, it's just not a profitable trade, you see? Tell me how am I gonna make money? It's not even a minimum of 1 to 1R, come on now, right? And where am I gonna place my stop loss if I put my take profit there? My take profit has to be the closest structure, which is right here. So you're telling me I'm gonna take this trade and get a 0.3, like it's not a profitable trade. So I ended up not taking this trade as well. But okay, Ivan, what about if you zoom in? If you zoom in, it was actually bullish. And then when it turned bearish, it was right here, but it's still in the area of interest. We want it like engulfing when it's close to the direction of where we're trying to go. And it just so happened that it's right here. So even if we capture the engulfing right here and place our stop loss, where are we gonna place the stop loss? At the previous structure? Previous structure is always the, low tolerance risk. If you're a high risk trader, maybe above the area of interest or above the wick here. Still, see? And then our take profit still has to be at the closest structure. So in that case, on the daily, it would still not be profitable. It would still increase by like a 0.10 difference, basically. Can't really become profitable. What we aim for is a 1 to 2 risks to reward. So maybe right here, right? But I just didn't take the trade because of that reason. And we'll see for Sunday swings if there's more opportunities for us. And then I ended up taking gold. See, there's just all these confluences right here, right? What do we have? Let me show you guys what we have. We even went over through the trading setup. If you guys don't know how to use the trading checklist, just go back to my workshop, episode 25, and it literally told us that this was 100%. What it means by 100%, it doesn't mean that this trade will 100% play out. It just means that there's a lot more confluences than normal for this trade to play out, and ended up playing out because all the confluences were in check. So this is what I traded with this week, and yeah, that's the reason why. You guys could have taken any of this trade and it would have still been fine. It would have been, because look, this one, avoided loss. This one, if you guys had waited for an entry signal here, and if you guys have a high risk tolerance, you would have made money here because there's the area of interest right here to go to the downside, right? Exactly, TP right here. So let me show you guys what I mean. In hindsight right now, of course, but if the area of interest right here, our TP would have been the structure point, which is the previous structure point right here, right? But this is literally a 1 to 4.5 risk reward. You guys would have been balling out here. Look, yes, the 4 hour was bearish. Use the trading checklist to see for yourself if you guys would have entered this trade or not. You see? Because technically it really depends on your risk tolerance. Like my risk tolerance, this is telling me that, see, this is still bullish, and 30-minute structure is right here. So I would want to see a shift of structure right here. And did it give it to me? Yes, but there's no engulfing. Yes, I could do it right here. So if I had entered right here, it would have still been like what? A 1 to 1.5. It's not bad. It's still a winning trade, but for me, I personally like a 1 to 2 minimum, right? So yeah, that's just how it is. It's just a lot harder for a 1 to 2 if you're trying to aim for there. But I'm not saying this trade is not good. If you make money, that's good. But yeah, or if you use the 1 hour, you can use that to judge. See, there's a breakup structure right here. So technically, this is the lowest structure point, right? And then you wait for the shift of structure, boom, this is the shift of structure. You could have entered right here using the 1 hour instead of the 30-minute. See, at the end of the day, it depends on what type of trader you are and what type of risk tolerance you have. Each trader is different. And of course, had you guys put your stop loss right here, you guys would have been wicked out and be so freaking pissed. This is why we put our stop loss. Where do we put our stop loss? At the previous structure point, right here. Right, including the wick, that would have been juice, a 1 to 2 right here, right? But again, it really depends on your risk tolerance. Maybe you looked at the 2 hour, you like this structure right here, and you don't really care about that wick. You just want to care about the structure. Then that would have been fine. See, and you get more of your money's worth back. It's 1 to 2.5, right? So at the end of the day, what did we learn? We learned that everyone has different risk tolerance. No trade is a bad trade. It's either you avoided a loss or you learned lesson learned and you move on to the next one. So right here, maybe you guys took this trade. Hey, this trade it's really good. It looks really good. It retested the previous structure at that daily engulfing. You could have placed your like TP right here at the next structure, which is right there. This is a 1 to 4, which is not bad, right? Right? Because here's the thing, price can respect the previous structure. But we never know what, price does. It could potentially retest the previous structure, or it could continue to go up to the upside and break the, the weekly structure. Like I said, we are not market wizards here. We are only trying to minimize our risk and minimize our losses. And this can be lesson learned, If you guys are, again, depending on your risk tolerance, and I just wouldn't, risk my hard-earned money with this setup because I'm a very more on the passive side and less of the aggressive side. There are months that I will be aggressive and there are months that I will be passive. And it just so happened that I am just more passive because I have been losing a lot last quarter versus this quarter. So I'm making that up by being more passive, right? So, but if you guys are aggressive, this is still a good trade. I'm not saying this is not a bad trade. The daily and the 4 hour trend is still in sync, right? We got the 4 hour engulfing right here, right? We had everything in check previous. So we got the time frames in sync, daily area of interest, previous structure point, right? Don't feel bad because you lost this trade. This is a good trade. I'm telling you, this is still a good trade. It has a lot of confluences in check to make this a good trade. It just so happened that I didn't take this trade. It doesn't mean that it's not a bad trade. So yeah. And AirGP, this is a good trade as well. It just so happened that this liquidity grabbed us. If there was no liquidity grab, this would have been a profitable trade. Again, hindsight here, but like I said, depending on your risk tolerance, you guys would have taken this trade because it looks good. I'm not saying this is a bad trade. There's a head and shoulders pattern here, the 4 hour, area of interest. You could have gotten in and out. This could have been a scalp or an intraday, using the 4 hour as a way to like get in and out because you know that it's not from the daily area of interest that there's a higher risk, then you would do this quicker. You get in and out quicker instead of swing trading it. So yeah, you guys could have did this trade. This trade is not bad. See, there's a previous structure right here. There's the daily, right here. So this is bearish. So there's 2 time frames in sync, right? The daily and the 4 hour. And the weekly is not bad. There was the engulfing right here, right? Showing that there's a potential weakness to go to the downside to continue to retest the previous structure of the weekly. Because price always likes to move in zigzags, right? It likes to retest back to the previous structure. And so this could be a good trade too. But again, it just so happened that there's this huge ass wick that wicked you out. Trading is just like that. It's just part of the game. That's just how it is. But is it gonna stop you from doing the same thing? Maybe. Or maybe you could reduce your risk and continue to try it. Maybe it suits you better. Maybe this style suits you better. Maybe 5 out of 10 times you would lose this trade, but it would be so profitable because counter trend trades are really profitable, So So I mean, Alex G likes it too, but again, what he would do would he would reduce his risk, so then, you know, he doesn't lose a lot of money in these type of high risk trade. So yeah, hope this video helped you guys, and looking forward to see you guys tomorrow for Sunday swings. All right, bounce.